Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and today I want to talk about the real state of the world as I see it, as a preacher and a living being, a real Israel, child of God. And I have seen from a child the world as it was, and I've seen as an adult the world as it is. But I've got a different perspective, I think, to everyday people. I've got to witness the horrors firsthand in my own life with everyday hacking, stalking, terrorizing, raping, people meddling with the electrics so things catch fire, cloning your phone, cloning your SIM card, gassing you. And now, not just gassing, but smoking me out so that I open my window so they can climb in my house, you see? Because this is all about invasion. This is a whole invasion. This is a real life horror show. From my point of view, this is a mix between the HOSTEL movie, the Saw movie, a bit of Alien and Aliens. It's got the Terminator, a bit of the Matrix. It's also got They Live and 1984. It's got all of that and the Saw movie as the main theme. But the worst part about it is also we've got aliens as well and robots. We've got world leaders. It's also got The Island. Have you ever watched The Island? It's got a bit of that in it as well. Got world leaders who are not real human beings. From what I can see, they are fallen angels. We have the people in power who are so financially powerful they can pay off anybody to annihilate and destroy anybody. They do everything with no-touch torture, and they do it through gassing, electrics, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, fire alarms, mobile phone, anything smart in the house, fire alarms, router. I can tell you that I get terrible headaches from anything Bluetooth, anything with radio frequencies. I get headaches from lights, headaches from smart meters, headaches from my phone. My phone is emitting a frequency specifically to puncture a very private part of my brain. This is what I understand. This is also an invasion of the body snatchers. I forgot about mentioning that one. I've done you a nice video of what I found about what I think of this world. It is the invasion of the body snatchers. This is nano-gassing. Nano-gassing in your home. Nano-gassing, but also dust. This is a bit of the Stardust movie as well, where they hunt down the star, which turns out to be a beautiful lady, so that they can kill the star, eat its heart, with the lady's heart, while she's still alive, so they can look youthful for another 1,000 years or whatever. And these guys will do anything at all to obtain the heart of the star. Stardust, that movie. And it's also a bit like Cinderella movie, where Cinderella's brought up by some sick, evil people, and she doesn't know really who she is, and it turns out that she is real royalty of that place. And there's witchcraft and all sorts of things that go on But this isn't a movie. This is real life. What I've actually found out is that the people doing the hacking, stalking, terrorizing, gassing, witchcraft, poisoning, attempted murder, messing with the electrics, and all of this are child-eating, blood-drinking psychopaths who are pedophiles, transgender, half-offspring, weird offspring, interbred, mongrel, evil individuals, not people. I don't think they're real people. Most of the people perpetrating the crimes do not have a soul. They have no soul. They have only a spirit, which is demonic. Maybe there's several demonic entities inside them. And they have what appears to be no control of their own mind. They are of a legion, hive mind. And this is very similar to what Jesus tells you about them. They are legion. It's a war against women as well. And when God said that he'll put enmity between you and man, I'm now wondering if it's actually against men. Something must have happened. We're still trying to figure it all out, okay? We didn't get the memo, unfortunately, but we are getting a full flavor and picture of the world. Well, I am, and I'm telling you what I am seeing as I am a witness to the horror story of the world. It appears that they are hunting parties and people who have specific animals for their hunting parties. They hunt people and children. They take and farm people in the deep underground military bases with tunnels under all of the commercial buildings which represent the government buildings in each region, town, and locality of all of the world. It does appear as if there are all the tribes that God talks about in the Bible, and they have joined forces with the enemy. And then you've got the real children of God who have been spread out across the world and placed with families that are not their real families. I had a vision about my mother, my real mother, that God, I believe, showed me. And that was, I'm not the child of the people who brought me up. And my real mother was killed at my birth, and I was taken from her. I believe. This is what I believe. I believe when you reach a certain point and your pineal opens, it is just like 1 John 1, where he writes to the lady. Is it 1 John 2? I think it's 1 John 2. He talks to the lady and he says to her, when you know the truth, you will realize that you always knew the truth. I am starting to get flashbacks of my childhood, a different childhood, weird. And I'm also getting sort of deja vu and memories that I didn't know I had. As if I knew they were there all the time, but I don't know if they're my memories or if where they come from. And this is what I'm starting to experience on a daily basis as well, in dreams that are almost supernaturally given as well. I have started to have the odd dream again, and I always dream about what is going on. So if I'm studying the Bible, then I'll have lots and lots of revelation about the Bible. If I'm being hacked and stalked and broken into, then I'll get all sorts of dreams about that as well. And it will be trying to tell me what it's doing and how it's being done, and then I have a bit of a download in my dream state of how to combat it. So what I've worked out is there's a way to identify the perpetrators, not with 100% accuracy, but it will give you something to go from. And this is the hunting dogs that they like to have. They really like dogs. The hunting dogs. Obviously Muslims, they don't like dogs, so I'm not talking about Muslims here, okay? I'm talking about the hunting parties for England, and they're always connected with the Masonics and the leaders of their time or place. It's interesting when you look at the delegation of roles for hunting parties with dogs hunting foxes, which are actually hunting people, and they have a master and then they have a secretary and all of these things. And there's lots and lots of different type of dogs. In fact, there's 10 that I've identified from the online research that I've been conducting to establish what are these guys doing, how are they doing it, and how is this related? Because the film The Hostel, they have a tattoo with a dog, and this tattoo is representing the hunting of people, and it's called elite hunting. And actually quite a lot of people are getting those tattoos. So I really believe that this is a club and it's real and it's based on fact. And I also think that a lot of the horror films are also based on fact, like Chainsaw Massacre is actually based on a true story. And the Hostel movie also is based on a true story. And The Island is also based on a true story. The 1984 film is based on a true story. And what's clever about it is it's 1948, which is when the fake children of God set up their nation, pretending to be God's children, 1948. And it's almost like they want us to know. It is a bit like Bruce Almighty, where, we're being studied and tested. And I was actually watching Mr. Gary Waterman on YouTube yesterday. I don't really like the guy now, because I believe that, he's leading people astray, and he doesn't know who God is, and also he identifies people as an enemy when he doesn't know his facts. So if he's flawed in his ascertaining of information and what he's saying, then we can't trust anything to do with the guy, because he's not going to be able to lead anybody. He'll only lead you to destruction, because he doesn't have a sound mind. All right, and paranoia, of course, comes in as well. Yes, but what he was saying is he doesn't know who to trust, because he thinks that this is all like he's some big test subject. Well, I have news for you, Mr. Gary Waterman. If you are listening to me today, you are a test subject, yes. And so am I. And so are all the real children of God who are on this earth. We are all test subjects. And God is measuring with his measuring stick who you are, what you're made of, and what he will use you for. And there's only one way to salvation, and this is through Jesus Christ. And yes, I have had similar problems too. I have made friends with lots of what I thought were targeted individuals, only to find that I came under further attack. There was lots and lots of bitchiness. If you're a targeted individual, you're very grateful to meet other targets and just to be able to talk about your experiences. And when people get nasty, then I assume they're not targeted individuals because they're not humble and meek and kind and sweet and graceful like I am, or like my other friends who are also targeted. And when they become nasty and jealous and horrible, then I know they're not real targeted individuals. They have no remorse, no kindness, no feelings. If you've gone through this, then you are very, very understanding of situations. So there's a lot of fake targeted individuals. I want you to know that a lot of the wars are staged. A lot of our history is rewritten. Resets have happened. They have completely changed the places and the names and the times and everything. Completely changed everything, and they have gone to extreme levels and effort to kill off certain families so that they could continue with their blood drinking, sacrificing, hunting parties, to, you know, continue their fulfillment of prophecy, which is all actually written in the Bible anyway, so we shouldn't be too surprised. But I don't think I realized the level and the extent of the activities that we would be dealing with when God talks about the buying and selling of souls, bodies and minds and souls, and this is what's happening. We got the deep underground military bases, we've got the cloning centers, we've got interbreeding, we've got messing with the DNA, we've got intercepting the DNA, spraying us like bugs with nanodust, we've got stuff in our food and our water. There's no graveyards. Where are the people going? I mean, there's just so much stuff, and they want your blood donations. They do ancestry DNA, but actually that's not really to help you. That's more to track you and find out about you. Your phone, everything you do on your phone is tracking, watching, listening to you. Your TV, the same. It's on the same subnet, 255. Everything's filtered through a packet center, and just like what you're buying and selling, your receipts are attended to and noted. Everything you do and everything that you are is monitored. These nanobits of dust can go in your body and record your information, your heart rate and everything. And actually, if you look on your phone, I want to talk to you about this before I go into the the dogs for the hunting parties. There's a health app on my phone, and it tracks my steps, my heartbeat, and various other things. And I've deleted the app, but it's still recording this information. When I had a bed that was made of metal, I believe the metal bed was a type of aerial. That's what I think. The aerial from my neighbor's property isn't pointed in the sky. It's pointed at my bedroom, pointed directly at the bed, and at the TV, between the bed and the TV, okay? And outside of my house on the other side is another aerial, really massive aerial, ridiculously big. The size, I would say 2 sizes high as a door. And I would say the aerial, construction whizzy bit, if you like, is about the size of a door. It's massive. Ridiculous. So is aerial. And so it's all through aerials, which is the TV, 255. And I think that's what they do. And they use the nuts and the bolts and the screws and the nails to control everything. That's why I think you can switch on the lights through nails. Did you know that? Oh, yes, you can. And screws. So it's very clever. With Bluetooth, you can make any radio Bluetooth ready. You know that? Yeah. easy peasy. You just buy a phone jack, plug it in, and hey presto, you've got a Bluetooth receiver, transmitter, recording, sending out everything about you on Bluetooth. And as you know, it's all about Bluetooth, because anyone who's had their vaccine has got a Bluetooth address. All right, so back to the hunting. The doggies that they use for the hunting are, and there may be more, dog breeds used for hunting people. Let's call it what it is, right? It's not fox hunting. This is for hunting children and people, so they can hunt them and make them frightened, and then take the blood from people or children. It's both. And then drink that blood to make themselves look young. This is like Dracula, and even King Charles says he's related to Dracula. And the story of Dracula is this, basically. Just so you know, alright? And they love the darkness as well, the Dracula. Just like the devil and demons. They only come out in the dark. If you're under attack and targeted individual, put your lights on in your bedroom and sleep with your lights on. And you'll sleep well. Okay, so back to the dogs. Number 1, English foxhound dog, bloodhound dog, coonhound dog, American pit bull terrier dog, beagle dog, Boykin spaniel dog, Brittany dog, Chesapeake Bay retriever dog, English setter dog, and German short-haired pointer dog. Yeah. So before this all started, there was a chap that I met who was a window cleaner, and he had a little tiny doggy, and I reckon he's one of these short-haired pointer dog type things. Is he a pointer? It's one of these. Or is he a beagle? It's one of those, right? It's a tiny little dog, and I recognized it as a hunting dog because I know the pictures. But the way you could probably tell whether these people are participants in this is if they've got pictures of hunting on their walls. Something I've noticed with the people that are anti-God and anti-Jesus, they often have hunting photos and hunting old pictures on their walls. Like it's a status that they like to have. And ships is another one. I think possibly is connected, but definitely the hunting. Definitely the hunting is part of this. And I actually took a note of what these dogs do and all sorts, and I've put them on my screen. A video show reel that I have done for you. And wanted to talk to you about some of the words also. So a show reel is what they use when they're making movies. They say, oh, that's a show reel. That's to show real. A movie is to move, R-E. A program is a program. So it's like a telegram, okay? All right. So a telegram is not the same spelling as program, but it ends with gram. So this is how you can work out what the words mean. Telephone, Anglophone. English language is Anglophone. Why? Because they're the fallen angels and they talk through angles because they live in the mirror world of the dead. Okay, and we live in this world right now, but God separated us, and I think that us not being able to see them protects us, because if we were to see them, then we'd feel very uncomfortable. So we're in a bubble of protection in the reality of Israel, of what the Lord is. And when you have come to the Lord, He opens your eyes to the fourth and fifth dimensions, and also your pineal. And that's why Jacob was renamed Israel. at Pineal when he battled with the Lord. So this is all about awakening. Okay. But yes, back to it. From my perspective, my life's come to a grinding halt. It's a hack, stalk, terrorize, torture, take over phone, hacking, cloning, phone, SIM cards. This is also about cloning people and taking people's organs while they're still alive. This is also hunting down the true children of God and gassing them and poisoning them so that they die, or they become really unwell, or they become really fat, or there's lots of things they do. Some they will give backache. Some they'll make it so that you slip in the bath. I know one person who slipped in the bath. They'll give you the ringing in the ears. They will do all sorts of different things. This is all through the power of manipulation, of sound, vibration, water, anything with a structured set of components that is alive. Water is alive, can be adjusted and manipulated to have a different end result, using sound and vibration. God gave me something earlier about the elements again. That time also does not exist without the sound and vibration. So it's basically their version of velocity and darkness to give the darkness its false light, if you like. Because God's light is the real light. That's the only way I can explain it. It's about the presence of God, not the presence of Christmas tree presents. It's about all the spellings, all the words that you can have two words, but they mean two different things. The same word, but they mean two different things. It's a lot of that. It's double-ended words and words that go backwards and forwards as well. Very interesting. Like the devil is dead, lived backwards. The gospel is to go spell, and the bread of life is to be read. And when God says be ready, he says to read why. Ready, read why. So all the answers are actually in the words, but I believe that they've been dulling everyone down through toothpaste and the stuff in the water which calcifies your pineal gland. So they purposely do that. So I'm not quite sure. Oh yes, someone did say to open your pineal gland, you can have iodine, and iodine helps to open your pineal. I can also tell you that lavender and this kind of thing also helps to open your pineal gland as well. Electricity and all these other things are to upset your body makeup. The devil hates anyone that is of God and is jealous, and the angels are too, and the demons. So together they are trying to annihilate the real children of God, and it really is like a horror film. Yeah. You've got many people who have been staged to pretend to be saviors, okay? And they're not really saviors. Like I was saying with Mr. Gary Waterman. If you really wanted to save the world, then he would be more proactive and this kind of thing. And also he wouldn't be wearing a Mason's ring. There's a lot of things I already discussed. I made many videos when I made my decisions on what I thought of this guy. And I make decisions based on I need to know, and I need to make my mind up. I can't dither-dather. I don't like dither-dathering. So if I feel that somebody is not helping me and they're actually against me, I'll do an assessment and a SWOT. And I'll go, yep, no, I don't like that one. Out you go, pimp. It doesn't mean I don't want to be your friend or whatever. I've put you at arm's length. I don't really want, if you betray me, yeah, then I would probably not want to speak to you much, really. I don't want much to do with you. Because I believe that who you hang around with, you become like them. And so if you hang around with God, then you're becoming more and more in his thinking and like God. It's like two people when they're married, they start to look like each other and talk like one another. So be careful who you hang around with. And if you're told a lie enough times, eventually you start seeing that lie as truth. So from my point of view, what you're hearing and what you're seeing needs to be validated by a truthful source. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that could be enemies, then you can't rely on those opinions. And maybe you shouldn't even have any opinions. I mean, sometimes I just feel like this is such a test on your stamina mentally. So you should know you're not alone. That this is part of a real sort of measuring. It's a plumb line. It really is. And I actually talked about this before. The people who are doing the gang stalking, the child eating, blood drinking psychopaths who are interbreeding with one another and literally breed little babies to sacrifice to the devil so that they can all look younger and drink that child's blood. The same people have only one agenda, and that is for themselves. And they don't really care about anything else. They've got no feelings. I don't know if you've ever been with someone or known someone that had no feelings, but I have. And they don't have any photos around the house, of personal photos. They don't really have feelings, you know. Now, if you cry in front of them, they'll say, "Oh, you're just putting on the waterworks now, are you? You're trying to get my attention, get me feel sorry for you, even though I'm a psychopath." Wanker. That word wanker is a brilliant word, it is, because I tell you what, there's a lot of wankers out there. And you get women wankers too. Yeah. But yes. So I believe it is a very, very evil world. And I believe that the world leaders are planning on bringing in the robot race. They're going to try and intermingle and interbreed robotic structures and put them into your bloodstream. Mix you in with it's graphene, and graphene is a like dust, and it's activated by light. And like I say, it's a clever technology. It can grow the length of an arm in 5 seconds. I can tell you that if one of the child-eating, blood-drinking, psychopath, paedophile, adrenochrome dealers have been in my house, which they do most days, I know, because they've tampered with the water or they've tampered with the milk, and I start getting jittery feet and jittery privates and things like this. Yeah. And don't be afraid, if you're a targeted individual, to call them what they are, which is child-eating, blood-drinking psychopath. May they slip and fall and break their fucking neck. That's what I say to them. May you slip and fall and break your fucking neck. Another one I say is, don't slip and fall and break your fucking neck. Wanker. Wanker. And these guys are all connected. Like at the moment, we have a cloud over where I live, and it's like the fog. Have you ever watched the film The Fog, where you got these evil pirates and they come and bang on the door? One of them comes with a big sort of, it looks like a cleaver that you harvest with, and he starts bashing it on the door like the Grim Reaper, and you hear it going dung, 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 and it's really frightening. And basically they just go out and kill everybody. And we've got this fog over us now, and I think it's nano fog. And I also think there's funny craft in the sky that you can't see because they use the cloud to shield. Do you know about the invisible cloaks? Yes. So you can get invisible cloaks. You can buy them online. Go and have a look. I'm not making it up, right? You can buy an invisible cloak and you can put it on and no one will see you. You can go and get one and try it out, right? All right then. I'm not making this stuff up. The things I talk about on here, on God FM, everything I can tell you, I verified it for myself, and it's what I think. Okay. When I say that they are putting stuff in the water, and they're putting things in the drains, and they're pumping stuff and gassing us through the water pipe, I can tell you I have tried and tested it. Okay? 100%. As in, sealed it off with sellotape and plastic, and that one, suddenly I don't have the problems from the toilet anymore. Okay? But they will use different ways to gas you. So it is all about the plumb line location. When this all started at my old house, Vernon Court, Warren Road, Torquay, they had people underneath me putting plumbing in, and their Wi-Fi was called plumb line location, and I believe that's what it's all about. It is all about plumbing, and I don't be surprised if people that disappear go down the drain with that special liquid, or get eaten, or I've mentioned it before, where I actually think that these people will have dismembered body parts all around their kitchen. I think it is just like the Chainsaw Massacre film, because if they are so determined to break into my home every time I go out, it is like a horror film. And it is a fiddling and interfering with electrics. When you get a poltergeist or whatever, the lights flicker, or the radio won't work. It's the same with these guys. Like, I really have problems getting the radio to work. TV, can't get a TV signal. Same sort of thing. Why? Because they've hijacked those frequencies, and they've taken them over. This is all about pirates, and this is all about pirate radio. And they say that pirate radio wasn't that long ago. It was created in Plymouth, and I think radio has been around a lot longer, because if you look at the 1800s photos, you'll see the aerials, and I think they did everything through aerials. That's what I think. And the 5G, they had all this technology before. If you go through old photos, you can find them all on TikTok and Telegram and all this, where people are going around in what looks like swimsuits from the 60s, and speedboats that are really old-fashioned, and they've got laptops and iPads and phones and all of this technology from before. The Statue of Liberty apparently is Donald Trump. Yeah. You know, and what is the Statue of Liberty? It is Apollyon and Napoleon, who is the same person. Napoleon and Apollyon are the same person. So God told me. And the Statue of Liberty was supposedly put up in 1776 on the 4th of July, was it? But it wasn't really. Now that's the big secret, because it was actually only erected and put up much later in the 1800s. And if you look at the world fairs and all this, the world fairs were from around the 1850s all the way up to the 1950s. But real world fairs where they had the old technology from before. I want to talk to you about that. I think that the old technology from before is very possibly from the reign of Christ. I'm starting to really think, because I know these are all fallen angels now, that we are at the end, as in Christ has already been here for 1,000 years. It's very, very possible, because we are in the age of Sagittarius. I believe we are, because the beginning of the year is Sagittarius, and I had that from the Lord as a dream, that the beginning of the year represents the age that you're in. We're in Sagittarius. So we've been through Pisces, and we've had Aquarius, and now we're in Sagittarius. And the Sagittarius and the maps represent it as well. So the maps represent the time. So at the moment we're in Sagittarius and Aquarius. But before this we were in September, which is a different time. Yeah, I think that there's so much still to study. I haven't had time with everything that's been happening to me, and I, you know, I've gone past the point of caring what anyone thinks now. I'm just in horror of what I've seen, and my world will never go back to normal, and I don't want to be here, and I wish I was never born. That's still the case. And every day I think about how to kill myself. That's still the case. Sorry. I wish I could tell you differently. I don't want to be here. I don't like it here. But if it is God's will, I will do what is pleasing to the Lord. And I apologize to the Lord, because I'm obviously being put here for a reason. And I hope I pass my test, or whatever it is that I'm going through right here. It's not fun. But I thank the Lord for the wisdom and the understanding, the peace, the joy I get, even through my troubles and strifes. But I really think we've got to just look at everything. When you realize that they're farming us, this is a farm, and they farm us, they take our organs, they don't put our bodies in graves, they do not resuscitate. They're taking people's blood. They're getting you to do blood donations. Why do you get the blood donations? Why? Saline should do it. Why have they taken salt out of our diet? Why are they spraying us like bugs? Why have they decided that we must only eat vegetables, and they don't really want us eating meat? You know why? Because you're leaner to eat if you eat vegetables. Like horses. They only eat grass, don't they? You know what I mean? So, the Epstein Island it doesn't even touch the sides. You've got aliens, okay, which are actually demons, and they go around they've got an agreement with the world leaders to go and pick up people from their homes and put them in their spaceships and take them away. But it's often the governments themselves who have actually got the spaceships as well, and they do it, and they dress up like the aliens and pretend to be the aliens, and actually they're taking you into one of their deep underground military bases, which is all kitted out to look like an alien ship. And they have a good old giggle because they dyed chicken skin grey and put it all over them, and this is how they do a lot of the stuff, right? So these are demons that they're dealing with. What exactly happened, I don't know. But if you sell your soul to be famous, then it's not one deal to become famous. It's ongoing. So you might, be offered a deal to become famous, and they say, "Oh, you've got to sacrifice your first child," and the person will sacrifice their first child and think that's that. No. The devil will come back for more, and he'll want you to do some perversion or do something horrible to people that you love. And have you cloned as well? So that's why YouTube, everything is copyright, right? Because they've copied the person that is the artist. Because this is about art, and this is about artists. This is about conductors, and we are made in the image of God. And if we give the rights over to what we've created, then we've basically sold our soul to go to hell. It's ridiculous. You're not going to get anything. Just going to go to hell. And the deal is that you'll become famous and whatever. Your image, yes. Because we're made in the image of God. So when you sell your soul, you're selling your image, your copyright. That's why it's all about copyright. And then they take your soul and then they copy your image. So they clone you over and over and over and over and over and over. And then they put your soul in a little jar in a deep underground military base, and that little soul gets to watch the horror show of their life as the demons take over and destroy every person in your family. Yeah, literally. There's all sorts of witchcraft. Really, it's horrible. So now, with the lights in the alien movies, in Poltergeist, for example, the little girl Carol Ann, she's always talking to the TV. Notice this. Yeah? And you notice how she disappears into the TV, Carol Ann. Why? Well, because it's frequency. And it's a magic mirror. They tell you in the movies. And also, if you notice, the lights also represent these demonic entities, just like aliens. When they come down, they shine a big light. And the house lights, bright lights in the house. And it's like a false light. And they're using the light to pick the person up out of the bed and transport them through the door. So like with these guys, they don't need to come through the front door and unlock your door. They can walk through a wall. They can walk through any structured thing because they're beyond time, space, matter. So they're operating at the same frequency as a television. The same frequency as 5G and microwave and lights. And this is why there's a lot of activity in the spiritual realm, because this all is to do with that realm, and that's how they already communicate. By watching television, I believe we are watching the demonic entities, and we are idolizing the enemy and the enemy's children and the fallen angels. This is what I think. Because it's spell casting, isn't it? It's casting programs. And your phone is Anglophone. Remember what I've said, Anglo. It's Anglo-Saxon. Yeah. A Saxon is the S, which is what God and his wife write with, because God writes with a T and she writes with an S. So Anglo-Saxon is A for apple and X, which is the X chromosome. I talked about this as well. So they've hijacked the S and the A, the beginning, and the X, which is near the end of the alphabet on Saxon. That's what I think. Oh yes, the other thing I got was meridian. You know, all the different regions, meridian, and all of that. It's all got things to do with that, and also to do with the earth, fire, water, and different elements. And God said it's all about the elements. And I was like, because that's what creates time. I was like, I couldn't really understand it, so I've got to talk to God some more about it. But I try and explain what I got, which was that the elements, like the Fifth Element film, is you've got the fifth element. There's actually more. There's 6 elements, and I was like, okay. So because that's why you got the 6-pointed star, the 6th element. So I don't know exactly what they are. Earth, wind, fire, earth, wind, fire, and the others. I've got to write it down and try and study it. But and frequency and light. And so basically what this happens is when all of this is going around, it's like a whirlwind. It restructures time and matter. And it creates a vortex. And in a circle of this vortex is a center, which is a platform that can take you in and out of dimensions, if you like. And time ceases to exist there as well. So did you watch that film Lucy, where she took these pills and put them in her tummy as a drug deal to take them across the country, and they burst and whatever, and they got into her blood and they made her really clever. And she was sitting there in a chair, and the world just went by so fast. She was able to sort of move time by just flicking her hand, and she was able to move time completely but stay still. So it's a bit like that, but I don't understand it yet exactly. But it is my belief that if you can abandon the physical desire and control of the physical that it has over you, and just trust God in the spiritual, then I think we will gain control and dominion within those elements that I've just been discussing, and being able to manipulate and control and create vortexes, not just to travel time-wise, but to move time itself and change everything. I really think so, because it's like an electric current, and if you've got a break in the wire, then you will have current. You might have current on each end, but it's not joined up, so you're not getting a full spectrum of power from that wire. And so I believe this is kind of what it is with us, because we're conductors. We're made with salt water. That's another thing I want to talk to you about, is the electricity on the water. So now I know that they can use wireless electricity through the lights. So they can also transmit electricity to the water pipes. Now you would think electricity and water would be a problem. But whatever they've done it so that it isn't a problem. Now I think this is because the earth wire doesn't behave in the same way as the positive and negative, because that's the original ether earthing wire, I think. But again, I don't know enough about it. Maybe there's something that we could do to ground ourselves more. I don't know. But like I say, if you realize that what they're doing is a lot worse, it's a lot worse. It means that everything you've ever been told is a lie, and that the people ruling this world are totally, totally evil, and we need to do something together. Okay? Because this is like a horror film. I'm a witness to it. Nothing else matters to me anymore. You know, I'm not bothered about anything anymore. Alright. And it is all about hunting parties. I always hear the hound dogs, and if you're gang stalked, you'll notice the dog walkers. Look at what dogs they got. They always go around with vans, and they are a bit like gypsies. They've always got their little camper vans. Why? Because they can park it around the corner, and they can hack you, and they can sleep in it all night, and be in your phone by the morning, and get payment in the morning for obtaining all your data and everything else. Don't forget, these guys are determined to monitor every single thing you're doing. Your heartbeat, everything. That's what it's all about. Also, the other thing I want to quickly talk to you about is the different levels. So I was in town, and then I was thinking, God, this is quite low down. And I was thinking, and it goes further down as well. I was thinking, God, this is amazing. So let's imagine that the ocean has a beach, and then around it we've got all these hills and buildings that are built half into the ground, and you've got high streets and roads behind the high street that are higher up. And then you're like, well, they must have kind of carved out this high street and built everything around it. Like in my town, all the car parks can be accessed from the top, the middle, and the bottom. The top bit will be one part of town. The middle will be a completely different part of town. And the bottom will be another completely different part of town. And this is something they do in China with all the different road levels and town levels. So when I was standing in the town, I was thinking, that road goes quite high up. I was thinking, that building there, that's only eye level from my bedroom window. See the top of that, the chimney. I was thinking, that's a bit higher than my window. But where I'm standing in the town, that's a very tall building now. I could probably fit 4 or 5 different houses on top of one another to get to the top of that big building I'm talking about. There's tunnels everywhere. That's why they've filled in the roads. They bury the old town and dig it all. Dig it all is teach no logic. Dig it all, where they dig up the old technology and bring it back. It's not new. Nothing's new. It's all old. They're all on Belgrave Road. On every Belgrave Road in the UK. We need to dig up the bells because those will activate the Z chromosome. But the tattoo places, what's in their ink? Wonder if they've got the graphene in that. The Alien movie with the black stuff, right? Where the black stuff literally comes to life. Comes like a white little wormy thing. Thank you, everyone. It's Ayesha from God FM. If you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple, X, as well as TikTok and Telegram as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, and God FM Group, and God FM Media. You can email me admin@godfm.org.uk, and you can WhatsApp me +44 777 35 777 88. Have an amazing day. It's Ayesha from God FM. Take care.